In 2015, over $8 trillion contributed to the GDP for travel and tourism. Back then, tourism was on the rise and set to take over as a prominent source of GDP for many countries. Since then, we have seen the growth of the virtual reality industry, which has diminished global tourism, leaving many countries unable to restore historical artifacts and invest in the infrastructure, people, and future. In 2021, we saw the number of people with virtual reality headsets hit 171 million, and currently over half the population have access to virtual travel. Since 2017, we have since seen massive shifts in the socio-economic gap, which has allowed people from all demographics to enjoy traveling together, boosting global happiness and contributing to some of the highest social skills we have seen as a society.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Q&A show. Tonight's topic will be the social effects of virtual reality within our tourism industry. The real question is whether virtual reality poses a threat to our tourism industry and whether the social benefits outweigh the overall issues. With me tonight to discuss the topic is Gus, the Destination Manager of Europe, Bianca, the CEO of Emirates, and Mary Jane, a virtual reality programmer. So to lead us in today's discussion, we'll turn to Mary Jane, who is a virtual reality programmer, to discuss with us how the social effects of virtual reality in today's society.
I believe that virtual reality has strong social benefits. First of all, it reduces socio-economic gaps. Virtual reality enables people of all incomes to travel, like younger generations who has less disposable income. Virtual reality provides a cheaper way for them to travel and saving time from cut-off queuing and transportation, so that younger generations can have more money and time to do what they want, like they can work longer and having higher education.
Yeah, look, I completely understand that, but what's more important than a true and authentic travel experience?
Well, virtual reality is fulfilling Maslow's hierarchy of needs in the fact that socially it provides safety. Crime is a serious issue in tourist destinations like terrorism and kidnapping, which make tourists afraid to travel. Using virtual reality can provide security to the tourists and drop criminal rates in tourist destinations as well. Virtual reality can also help with psychotherapy, which can be used in corporate companies to reduce stress, cure PTSD and anxieties. Virtual reality is also innovation in social medias like Facebook. They are working on the project of Facebook Space, which can make virtual reality a social experience that people can share their experience with their friends in the virtual world, which can enhance social interactions between people. It also provides a unique platform for the communication of information between tourists. Tourists can share their experience with other tourists who are traveling the same place real time in the virtual world.
Gus, given your job title, you must have a strong opinion on virtual reality. How do you find that virtual reality affects all the countries that you work with and your job role?
Yeah, look, I have a really strong opinion, and obviously it's made my job a lot harder over the years. For obvious reasons. In Europe, we've seen the tourism industry absolutely crumble under this virtual reality. And I mean, just like it was in 2017, the same people are still the ones that are looking to travel. It's still the older generations. They're the ones that have the time, they have the money, and they're the people who should be traveling. Problem is, back in 2017, they were traveling over 5 times a year on average.
Wow.
Now they're traveling less than 1. And we simply just can't do it. And the reason that they're doing that is because the authenticity is out of it. They're too lazy. It's too easy to just do it through virtual reality. Why would they? They're not the sort of people that are looking to go skydiving. They're not looking to go whitewater rafting. They're looking for relaxation. They're looking for sightseeing. And they can do that in an hour on a Saturday morning with virtual reality. We can't afford to restore our national landmarks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, the Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum, those sort of things. The funding that tourism brings in, that's what really keeps those going. Countries like Iceland that relied on the tourism industry back 10, 15 years ago are completely ignoring the future of their tourism industry, and they're just looking elsewhere for something to bring in GDP. And it's just not the same anymore. It's making people lazy, and it's at the cost of some really rich history that we have in Europe.
Thanks, Gus. So Bianca, as the CEO of Emirates, how do you find that the experience of people that do decide to travel has been affected by virtual reality, following on from Gus's point?
Yeah, well, I definitely do agree with Gus's point. Emirates in the past has had a history of being a well-known and quality airline, and I can tell you firsthand that there's definitely a significant decline in the annual number of international and domestic travellers every year. I do believe virtual reality is one of the main reasons for this. I think the consensus within contemporary society is why fly and go the distance if you can just experience it from home. My question is though, like, have we lost the real definition of experience? And for those that want to go beyond that and still travel the distance as a repercussion of virtual reality popularity, it's becoming increasingly harder.
And how do you suggest that this is becoming harder? What kind of factors influence this?
It's due to the plain and simple fact of price increase. A lack in tourists also means a lack in funding. Can we afford to send a half-filled plane? No. One plane requires petrol, it requires staffing fees, airport and government taxes, maintenance fees, just the cost of the plane itself. And the list just goes on. As we can see, this extends well beyond that of the transport side, like Gus was saying, in terms of funding with these landmarks. So although virtual reality closes one socio-economic gap in offering everyone a chance to experience travelling, I feel people are naive to the fact that it's still creating another one, which is going to have a bigger impact on the global economy in the long run.
That's a really good point. Thank you for that, Bianca. So through today's topics, we've seen the benefits of VR in society as well as the negative repercussions to tourism. Please feel free to express your opinions on our social media platforms. Unfortunately, that's all we can share for tonight, so we'll see you next week. Thank you.